we're going to be opening up the evening with daheadhunter versus AscendBeyond from the Obsidian division.
Yeah, and AscendBeyond has absolutely ridiculous win rates, albeit in a shortened season because we've had a lot of dropouts in Obsidian. So only a handful of games have been played. For reference, AscendBeyond has played about half as many games as most other full season competitors have to this point. But in those games, their win-loss record is exceptional, mid 80% win rate on both Spy and Sniper so far. Again, in a shorter sample size with all those dropouts, but still obviously in a really good position here in Obsidian, and one of only a handful of players left, I think maybe just 2 or 3 now that Dowsey drew his last 2 matches, that can actually finish perfect.
Man, people get scary so fast in this game all of a sudden.
Yeah, scary to me personally. I am personally frightened of a lot of these players, and I'm so glad there are so many divisions between us. I know we've increased the mobility between divisions this offseason. That's good. Let's not increase it too much more.
Yeah, sounds good to me. But we are going to be getting underway with the picks and bans here. AscendBeyond is going to be starting things out for us, banning out, unfortunately, Aquarium.
Mm-hmm.
And
you say unfortunately because it's fun to cast, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
It's just enjoyable to cast. And daheadhunter responds by banning out Library.
Mm-hmm. So what's interesting, I'll just say briefly about AscendBeyond's bans, is all their bans have been either Tan or Aquarium. And that squares with what I said about the win rate. They feel like favorites in most of these, ban the Chaos, win straight up.
Yeah. And then for the picked maps, we've got AscendBeyond doubling Gallery, 4 of 8. daheadhunter doubling Veranda, 5 of 8.
Okay.
AscendBeyond loses Courtyard Chicken and picks up Courtyard, 4 of 7. And daheadhunter finishes us off with Ballroom, 4 of 8.
And this really was Courtyard Chicken too, because Courtyard was the most picked map for both players heading into this. So that really is Courtyard Chicken. They're both on record as wanting to play it. Somebody was bound to.
I guess AscendBeyond just wanted it more. Either way, we may as well get right into things. We have talked for long enough. We're going to be opening things up on Gallery, daheadhunter, starting things off on the Spy, AscendBeyond, opening things off as the Sniper. Let's get things underway in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and it's kind of unfortunate that we've had some of these drops because some of these perfect seasons could end up being, 12-0 with 3 forfeits or something, but still pretty darn impressive if you can pull it off. And this is one of only, I think, 2 people with Lagor of Janine down in Oak who can do it.
Headhunter opens things up with a time ad and I think gets caught for it.
Yeah, now you're seeing why they have that high win rate. Even in the Chaos of Gallery, good awareness. Headhunter trying to sneak one by and does not get away with it. Now they're in huge trouble. Look at all those lowlights. This is some confidence about that time ad.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's about half the party gone.
It was. Some of them got bumped back up, though, afterwards. They thought a little better of it, decided to play it a little more safe, I think. But the fact that some of them are neutral and Headhunter is high-lit, that's pretty bad. Yeah, this is looking bad.
He's getting the safety flickered on him.
And we have no mission progress, essentially. Yeah, one of these, the sniper. This is a sniper. This is what happens when people join the SCL after seeing the casts for the first time. They know exactly what they have to do to communicate to us. Gee, Tobo, my expert analysis tells me that it might be down to these 2.
Yep, seems that way. There's the contact coming off on a fake, actually. You've got 25% on the flirt, but I really don't expect that to matter much.
No, has it down to 2 and decided not to shoot, even though I guess Alice was out for that fake. Just gonna wait this out. No reason to be fancy. Left in the middle of an idol, though, too.
Yeah, AscendBeyond is not happy.
Just do it already. Come on. Come on. Have you ever watched an execution in slow motion? That's what you're seeing right now.
This is what it looks like.
This is what it looks like. It's just the Kill Bill music playing non-stop during this entire game. I don't even think that's a valid briefcase either. That was really close to the ambo in a big venue.
This is just not going well.
Honestly, the way this game is playing out, it's like AscendBeyond can see the green arrow right now. That's what it feels like. Okay, so
I really wanted him to try to bug there.
yeah, has it warmed up there, up north?
Yeah, it's getting
It's warming up.
up there.
Yeah, it's still a little chilly here. We got a lot of that rainstorm that swept the northeast. I think that's about over now. Might as well talk about the weather. There's nothing going on here.
Well, we're dropping down to like 12, 13 degrees for the next couple of days, but we're up in the 20s after that.
Yep, summer's getting started. And this game, hopefully, is just about ending.
Here comes a purloin. I don't expect him to live long after that. There's the bullet coming off.
There we go.
The thing we saw coming for like a minute and a half finally happened. AscendBeyond goes up 1-0.
Yeah, that's It's almost like the bullet was fired in the first 5 seconds, and it was just a really, really slow bullet, and it just hit him. 1-0, 1-0 AscendBeyond.
Well, I think we've about picked that game apart as much as we can. Let's get into the next one. AscendBeyond on the spy this time, Daheadhunter on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Oh darn! It's too late to go back and see an instant replay of one of those flashes. Okay, I guess we have to move on.
AscendBeyond opening things up at the green bookcase for a green test on the transfer. So now we've got microfilm in pocket.
What I'm going to wait to see here is Headhunter deliberately staying zoomed out because the amba's out front? Or are they going to zoom in when the threat has moved to the back? If it's either way, it's good timing from AscendBeyond because the sniper's attention has every reason to be split there.
Green flirt in the back conversation brings us up to 45%. In conversation with the double agent as well. Full conversations. It's a great time for it. Unfortunately, the suspected double agent was not in the front conversation, and AscendBeyond just opts to grab a fingerprint off the briefcase, and then we'll see what he does after that.
And that suspected double agent is Smallman, and you probably could have guessed that. As I like to say on stream a lot, not too many people are going to deliberately make Smallman their double agent.
Yeah, this is very true.
Especially on Gallery. So that's actually a pretty significant little random bit there.
Yeah, that's very true. Second flirt comes off. White test to 79%. This is some good progress.
Yeah, and we're already done with the microfilm, although it is the easier of the two shelves to get away with it because those conversations are... The conversation there is a little off-center relative to the books.
Just over 2 minutes to play now. Stepping into a second briefcase visit, but this one doesn't actually have a fingerprint available on it, so it's easy just to assume it always does, but sometimes that's just not the case.
Yeah, and if the sniper's not positive, it doesn't have
one.
one.
The bug on the way out of it, though!
I mean, even zoomed in, it wasn't especially visible. That's clearly what was really going on there. That's not a good path into the bookshelf either, but I think against an intermediate sniper, you're going to be okay. And if you can get away with this now, with Red Dress blocking that arm...
It's a white test. It's just the head turn, but the head turn's not too bad on Irish. The arm was completely blocked behind hair, and we get the transfer away clean. That's 2 hardtails done with 1:20 left. This is looking very good for AscendBeyond.
It is, and what's interesting too, and I mentioned that the path was a little awkward. I think part of it was that they deliberately wanted to get in front of Red Dress there so that the arm would be blocked even if the head wasn't. It's going to be that much harder to see, and there's currently no indication that they are a suspect for microfilm.
Can we even get in that conversation? There might be a spot between the twin and white, but now that the other twin leaves, there's definitely a spot now. That's the flirt done, just under a minute to play, and 1 fingerprint to get, or we can just take this contact and call it a night, and that looks like the plan.
They could have gone statueless and silent. That was also a very quick window leave, but at this point, they understand they're not a big suspect and that a BB is just a win, and that's
contact comes off, low lights in the back. When you see lights after a contact, it means there's no shot coming, and AscendBeyond takes a second.
Yeah, we only saw one exception to that principle that you mentioned. That was the heartbreaking Turnout Wodar game where they took a bunch of low lights and then shot anyway. But 99 times out of 100, if you're taking the lights, you're not taking the shot. Absolutely right.
So, AscendBeyond showing great awareness on the sniper side, and some impressive creativity on the spy side. A couple of small little details that could need cleaning up from the spy end of things, but man, it's been impressive so far. Let's see if he can keep it going back from the sniper side. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
It's hard to improve on an 84% win rate, but this is one way you can start to do it. 2-0, AscendBeyond.
And the Headhunter is trying his luck with Smallman.
In desperate times, call for small spies, I guess.
It looked like AscendBeyond was trying to just insta-highlight Smallman, but Toby got in the way and he decided it wasn't worth it.
Insta-highlight the first game for a time ad, insta-highlight the second game for Smallman.
But the green purloin from the painting, though.
And General picking up the briefcase as it happened in front. That might have been a nice little distraction, and he's going to be trying to be far away from this.
The list is gone. What's the reaction? Lots of lowlights.
Not lowlighting Smallman's a small victory here, no pun intended, but there are just way too many highlights. Look at this, and he's not one of them.
Yeah, I don't think Smallman's really on his radar right now.
No, those are proximity highlights. I mentioned sometimes that if you green purloin and walk away, you'll get low lit because you're out front. They'll be confident about who inside or outside could have done it and walked away. Look at those proximity highlights for being in the conversation when they noticed. That means they missed it.
First flirt comes off on a green test for 45%. The Headhunter has really turned this one around. Didn't really get a chance in the first game after getting caught out on the time ad, and this time he's not taking that chance again, and man, oh man, is it working so far. Let's see if he can keep it up.
It's still an aggressive move at the start of the game, but it's one with a little more upside to it, for sure, and we're seeing the results right now.
Also managed to get away from statues with one inspect without taking a highlight in the middle of all that as well. Stepping into the back conversation here, and it looks like AscendBeyond might be onto something, but it's not the Headhunter.
No, it's not. It's General and it's Walt. So don't knock them out. Headhunter doesn't know it right now, but they need to not knock these people out. All right, doesn't matter.
And AscendBeyond decides he's tunneling a bit too hard, decides to take the shot on the green purloin victim, and the Headhunter gets himself on the board.
Yep, it was a good green purloin anyway, but the fact that General was taking the briefcase right around the same time, I think was a nice little distraction because it wasn't just something happening. It was something happening in the same general area where their eyes would be that would take precedence over the purloin happening behind them. Totally clean, gets away with it, and the shot. It's just a good, bold move with a lot of upside.
And now AscendBeyond is back on the spy side of things. The Headhunter sniping to tie things up on gallery. Let's see if he can make it happen, or if AscendBeyond will maintain this lead in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Those first two games just look so quick and definitive and easy for AscendBeyond. If Headhunter can come back and tie this up on gallery, that'd be a real nice little comeback.
Third game also looked very quick and definitive, but unfortunately he was onto the wrong target.
He did have a drink outside, which is actually pretty unusual. I think the estimate's about 10% of the time the AI will do that. But it's one of those areas where game knowledge can hurt you because 10% is not that rare.
AscendBeyond opening things up at green bookcase once again hits the green test on the transfer. Once again, opening the game with green microfilm in pocket. And once again, getting a flirt from this back conversation. Despite of the unusual entry.
Yeah, so far.
Oh, wow. Actually, seduction target steps away, so we're not able to get it.
No, you could lose a little heat by going to green here, but AscendBeyond doesn't seem too interested in that, and that can bite you. We've seen people fail to finish flirt on gallery.
Oh, that was a very bold bug, but the way he maneuvered it made it very difficult to see. Turning in and hiding the arm inside the ambassador wound up making it pretty solid.
Yeah, pretty ridiculous. Some people might even say, wow, what a weird tight little path between all those characters. If the ambo wasn't one of them, you might even lowlight for it. It was bold, it was a bug in traffic, and as far as I can tell, it was completely clean.
Very, very impressive play coming out of AscendBeyond, and that could be huge moving forward. First flirt comes off at a painting for 34% and still have over 2 minutes to play.
Yeah, I'm still a little worried about this because we've noticed, Tobo, throughout the year, A, people having trouble finishing flirt on gallery at all skill levels, and B, spies in mid divisions and lower in particular having trouble finishing flirt. So when I combine obsidian with gallery and I see one flirt done with under 2 minutes, I start to get worried.
I mean, he's trying. He just got Sunshine a second time, but he is not letting this flirt get away from him. He is persistent in this, and now he's going to the opposite statue from him to pick up both a flirt here and possibly a fingerprint and possibly a pair of inspects.
Well, if he gets the fingerprint, one of these missions is going to go to waste, as you can see. And I think it might be inspects because I don't feel like he wanted to go to statues this game. I don't think he wanted to. And if he's going to, I think he wants to avoid completing at least because that's the kind of thing that can prompt a shot.
Well, he got the fingerprint, he got the 2 inspects, he got the second flirt to bring him up to 51%, and now he's getting the second fingerprint at green bookcase.
I think you try to get this flirt right away, and whether or not it takes, and whether or not you green it, for example, determines what you do next.
Absolutely, but not a lot of room that snugly with the seduction target. We're in, and I think we're in range. Does not hit the green test, though. It's 85% with 45 seconds left to play. Do we go to blue and put this microfilm away? Do we go back to statues? It looks like it's going to be blue books.
Yeah, and I don't like Toby hanging around right there. There's every reason to look here. There's a little bit of cover from Papa Danger, but he's going to move.
Papa Danger, he stops for the briefcase, but when we are able to use that moment of cover to get the transfer away. 15 seconds chasing the seduction target outside. He's going to window, so it has to be statues. We're not going to get this off in time for overtime.
I think this is going to be a shot. I think it happened just a little too long. Even if there's a second or two, you're going to be so paranoid by the timing of this visit. I think Headhunter might pull this out.
He's not looking. He's not looking. Now he is. Safety's off. There's the shot. It's 2-all.
No, too late for sync. Too late for sync. He didn't get it. He didn't get it in time.
He went for that so early.
So quick. Look at this. Too late for sync. Missions completed successfully. 0.0. Too late for sync. That is so rough. And you see why he did almost get him, though. Look at this put down and the walk away. It's instant. That was the giveaway. That was the giveaway. It almost cost AscendBeyond the game. Instead, it's actually what won them the game.
Literally half a second of overtime. That safety went off early enough that I really thought.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially when the camera paused.
Mm-hmm. That's about as long as you can get the too late for sync because it was like a full second and a half. And
yeah, that was a second and a half.
Usually that's enough. There's a little bit of a fudge in there. If you want to be safe, you have to do it with 2 seconds. And I don't think I've ever seen it take that long. Usually it's more like 1 second to be safe. That should have taken, it normally does. But look at that. There's the seduce. We were talking about it all game. The interesting decision was whether or not to finish the flirt or go for the inspects. If you're going for the inspects, though, why pick that statue that's so much more suspicious and going to be watched so much closer? The window thing I understand, but I think they might have actually made it just in time. So tough, momentary calls that end up swinging the game potentially. AscendBeyond 3-1 somehow.
Yeah, what should have been a 2-all game is swinging in AscendBeyond's favor as we step away from gallery and into veranda. The Headhunter back on the spy side. Certainly not going to go for a timeout at the start of this game, but let's see what he does in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
That was checker-esque. 3 hardtails. The only softtail was fingerprint, which is the least softtail there is.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Fingerprint as the only softtail mission. Ugh.
Opening up at green bookcase with the seduction target. It's a green test for 51%. What did you do with the book? It took him long enough to get a handle on it that he might just put it away.
Yeah, and he's kind of marking these really slow. And you see a lot of misclicks there. The mouse movement has been a little inefficient here, and a lot of stuff could be happening on the other side of the venue. It isn't, we know, but it could be.
The Headhunter just puts the book away innocently. He was there for the flirt, and he's here for the second. It's a little bit of a distance, but it should still be in range for a 2 flirt if he hits the green. He does hit the green, and it was, in fact, in range. That's the flirt done.
And now you can spend the whole rest of the game thinking about other stuff. That's what two flirting does for you. It lets you forget about that kind of rote spacing out, and you can just focus on the harder stuff.
Staring down both the ambassador and the double agent for a moment. But now he's looking elsewhere, and his eyes are on the statues. Steps in for a pair of inspects at the front corner. Takes a highlight for his troubles, but it's not a big one. It's just a rote statue highlight, and gets both inspects while he's there.
Yeah, what's interesting, though, is that because there's no fingerprint on it, it makes it seem pretty likely that the plan is to finish inspects at some point.
I think so. All the way over to the blue side of the map now. Steps into windows to get a little bit more time on the clock. It's a white test as well. 45 seconds is where we're at, and I don't think it's been noticed this time.
No, and AscendBeyond was zoomed in on Smallman taking the guest list now. Amba's over there too, so that's Smallman, the guest list, and the ambassador all on one side of the venue. That's a lot to soak up your attention, and I think the time ad this time, unlike the first game, is clean.
Very busy conversation back here with the double agent in it is something that'll bring a spy to you like a moth to a flame. The headhunter comes in, waiting for his moment. Surprised he hasn't just taken the right click yet as people start to filter away from the conversation.
Yeah, it could go from good to bad or good to mediocre pretty quick.
And now the double agent's gone as well. So into the red bookcase we go. Remember, we never actually got the microfilm from green. It's just grabbing a fingerprint here, I think. We've been to 2 bookcases now. Not making a move here.
It's interesting. I actually think it was good sniping by AscendBeyond that caused them to miss that time ad, though, because they understood all the threat that was on that side of the venue. And if you have to give up potentially catching the time ad, obviously you want to look at everything at once if you can. But if you have to choose, I think they chose right. They were playing the odds there.
Yeah, completely agree.
Time ad is not death.
Stepping into the back statues, all the way on the blue side to finish up this inspect. Can he get it off? No, I thought maybe might be able to get it before SpyParty swung back around to look. He's doing a green swap.
Wow, big choice here, because how are you going to finish? If you can rush a fingerprint in a contact, maybe the contact distracts from it, fine. But normally what you see is...
Oh, tried to get the bug. The ambassador started moving at a bad moment, and he went for it anyways. Gonna get caught from AscendBeyond for continuing with the plan that just got a wrench thrown into it. And... got caught on the bug. It's now 4-1.
So I don't like the decision to bug swap there, but I like the decision to bug after you've made the decision to swap, because you're not going to live long after this swap. What you can do is get a mission done into the contact, and then in that confusion, you don't get shot within 10 seconds. That makes sense. That's why I was surprised by the swap. It makes sense, I think, if they can just flirt and BB at the end, or just BB, for example. But once you've decided to swap, you actually need to get to the mission win countdown very, very quickly. So within that decision, from that point forward, it's an understandable choice.
Yeah. Doesn't wind up working out. And now AscendBeyond has found himself a substantial lead, stepping in to the spy side of things. The headhunter is going to need to start picking up the pace here. Starting from the sniper side, and 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yep, barreling ahead towards another victory. Again, a shortened season, but still impressive. Dominating Obsidian so far, has not lost or drawn, and they have a commanding lead here.
AscendBeyond opening at green bookcase, just like the headhunter, but he, instead of taking the flirt, takes the green microfilm.
He started at green bookcase all 3 spy games so far, as a matter of fact.
And the red.
Contact coming off immediately after. Let's add a few early lowlights. Actually, quite a few early lowlights.
And a purloin? Wow.
Wait, what?
They did take the green microfilm out. They did not keep the book, and they green purloined and walked away. The BB covered for it. It did.
Oh,
They
that
did
could be
trade.
huge.
Yeah, they did trade quite a few lowlights though, and that highlight is very big.
That could be huge. The purloin has now come off, and I don't know if the headhunter has any inkling of where it come from. That
I
might
think
just be me projecting, but
he does. I think he does, and those lowlights are huge. He got so many lowlights early in the game now. He's just going to be watching. That highlight, too, seems so telling. It's a good move, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
well, we shall see. Second transfer, and that was way too far out in the open. The headhunter may have been baiting it a little bit, but AscendBeyond fell right on into it. The headhunter keeping pace. It's 2-4, and this match looks a lot different if he gets that shot off on gallery a split second earlier.
Yeah, that looked like baiting. I totally agree, but I don't know if it was going to matter if it does because the timing on that was strangely bad, especially given how good the timing was on every other microfilm we've seen from AscendBeyond tonight.
Yeah, it was bad timing. It was bad positioning. There was no cover. It was at red books. Red books is hard to get by unless you can catch a sniper on a bad rotation. It just wasn't a good situation there. But the headhunter is now back on the spy side of things with AscendBeyond on the sniper. Let's see how this one turns out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
In all fairness to the competitors we cast, sometimes when I see them do something with impeccable timing a few times, and then I see them do something with bad timing right after, I wonder, maybe they're just doing stuff. And sometimes it works, sometimes it lines up, and sometimes it doesn't. I'm tempted to give AscendBeyond more credit than that, but sometimes they're just doing a lot of stuff, and the timing works out because there's so much going on at the party, and things line up that way. In that case, though, it just felt like they were committed to a rush, and it didn't matter if the party was giving them the cover they clearly needed.
Well, the headhunter on the spy opening things up at the front statue for a pair of inspects and that early highlight.
Yeah, you'll trade it. It really depends. If you're the sniper here and you just do rote statue highlights, are you actually watching them closer? Obviously, they're easier to see, but that doesn't mean they're taking up more of your attention necessarily.
That is very true. 34% on the first flirt.
I would say a good sniper, if they use their highlights just to track something, I would say they get good at not watching them more necessarily because they're just using them for non-suspicion.
The headhunter stepping over to the red bookcase now. Let's see what he does with this. Might try to clean this book somewhere and take it back to green. He's actually going to step away with the book right into the conversation next to him with the double agent in it and see if he can get a contact and maybe put the book away during the lighting.
This timing is better. Again, ambassador and guest list are on the other side of the venue, and there's a lot of people over there. Usually it's left heavy inside, but this time it's actually pretty evenly spaced.
Contact comes out. Smallman gets low lit along with a few others. A bit of a delay before stepping out to green to put the book away, but the book is away, and it looks like the book went away clean, but it's hard to tell.
That's an interesting decision. You could split into it, but that's inherently suspicious.
Nope, I don't think it was clean anymore, Trek.
Well, the nice thing with AscendBeyond as sniper is we actually don't have to wonder.
Yeah.
They're just going to tell us.
Very true.
So here's the real question. Headhunter needs to have a sense of how suspicious they are, because if they sense they're suspicious, they won't complete missions. Is this going to matter? No.
No.
No. 5-2.
Saw the transfer. That's all there is to it.
I kind of understand the decision to wait. It's the split sometimes that people notice more than actually where the book came from, because it looks so much like a book dump with the BB covering for it. So I don't mind waiting a little bit. And the fact they were on it, though, just tells me they were going to be on it regardless.
I think you're right. AscendBeyond is in a very powerful position. It's 5-2, the current scoreline, and he's stepping into the spy side for our last game of Veranda. The headhunter on the sniper needs to do a bit more than keep pace. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
You've gotten exactly one thing by Ascend so far, and it's that green purloin is Smallman on gallery. Everything else they've been all over, except for, a white time ad that didn't actually win you the game. So that's going to be rough. You really need to lock this down, because the idea of winning the last 4 to force at least a draw, pretty hard.
Ooh, that was a very exposed reverse drive-by bug attempt didn't take, but was a bit far enough out that I don't think the headhunter was looking.
Yeah, it was impulsive. It's the moment you have to decide as they walk by. You don't have time to think better of it, because if you did, you would.
Stepping into conversation with the seduction target and the double agent. Goes for the first flirt first. Gets a green test on it for 51%. And is now staring down the other conversations, looking for a moment to contact. And this might be it.
It might not get too much better here, yeah.
Decides not to, though, going for the briefcase instead. Able to get a fingerprint off of it.
Seems very noticed, though. There's a lot of activity right there. The sniper is looking right at it. Watching the ambassador particularly close, probably saw in some of those replays how good these bugs have been and how often they've been attempting them.
Yeah. In conversation for the second flirt. Definitely close enough for a 2 flirt if he can hit the green. Does he? He does indeed. That's the seduction done already.
And every second that goes by that we don't go to statues tells us more about their likely game plan.
Well, speaking of statue... Oh, it looked for a second like he was going there, but no, it's just stepping to red. Is not able to maintain the cover as General steps away, but just pulls it right over to green as the headhunter swings to the other side, and now is stepping into statues to cover for his positioning.
Same thing as before, high threat side, Amba and guest list on the other side. That's big.
That is big indeed. A pair of inspects come off. The statue goes back down, and AscendBeyond was able to get a lot done with a very small amount of time. The bug attempt gets bumped away by someone who was pathing in tight. That's the second bug attempt that hasn't taken.
They really want to do that in part because I think they really want to play a silent game. Their contact rate is just a little over 50%. It's actually only slightly higher than their microfilm rate, which is crazy.
Well, into the front statues this time to finish up the mission.
Inspect for a lot of people is the second or third most completed mission. For AscendBeyond, it's the second least completed mission.
Not entirely sure what the headhunter's highlight strategy is, but it's clearly not statues. There's the bug finally coming off. Third time's the charm, and because of the zoom, off camera.
Yep, and there is no longer a print there at blue. There had been for a while, but you have 45 seconds to get any print or contact, and you're not even a suspect. You can only lose this by screwing it up horribly.
Stepping in for the contact, hits a white test. That is not screwing up horribly. And AscendBeyond finds himself 4 match points.
Yeah, and there have been 3 AscendBeyond spy games where they had partial progress on a mission they didn't need at the end, and this is the second time they had a fingerprint they didn't end up using. This is just steady progress. When you look at their mission spread, they complete so many missions at such high rates. They just do a lot, and then at the end of the game, they have so many options. It's not crazy that they won that game, especially with 5.5 missions. What's crazy is I don't even think they were a suspect.
The headhunter with his back against the wall. It's a difficult situation for him as he steps into the spy side of courtyard. This is not the place you want to be, but if you can find a spy win here, suddenly you're in a much better situation. Let's see if he can make a go of it. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And what I'm looking at for the headhunter here, an immediate failed bug, is Purloin. They Purloin more than every mission other than Contact, over half their games. Now, it's not a good fit for Courtyard, but it's where they tend to go. They do swap at a pretty high rate, though, too, almost as much as Bug. The thing they don't do, Fingerprint, less than 3% of the time.
Yeah. This is definitely not a map you want to be purloining on. It's such a high sniper angle that anytime you want to get a look at the guest list, you can.
Yeah, swap might be a better fit here, and with their high swap rate, I would look out for that. Here's the thing, though. If you do win this spy game, you're down 6-2, but if you win this spy game, then you're sniping. And if you just convert that, it's 6-4. And you've got a little momentum, and things get interesting.
Very slow start from the Headhunter. About a minute gone before the first bit of progress, and it's going to be a flirt for 34%.
AscendBeyond, by the way, has played 12 courtyard games, 6 on each roll, has not lost one. 12-0.
That's not what you want to hear if you're the Headhunter.
That's why you lose courtyard chicken, because you're 12-0 on it.
And the Headhunter is really, really taking his time here. Double Agent steps in to say hi. We're not going to pass that up.
Banana bread.
Contact comes off on the white test.
It knocks out 2 highlights and 3 people total. Those highlights are brutal here, because right now it looks like you're hoping for a civ shot unless you can find a lot of progress very, very quick.
Only other highlight is the twin. Now we're stepping into statues. We get highlight ourselves.
Ooh, both twins are highlit. Just remember that for later, just in case.
Indeed. Pair of inspects. Do we get the fingerprint? We do. 1 minute left to play. Still 2 flirts and a fingerprint to get.
We have so many options, but again, they've had so much trouble completing fingerprint, or just haven't been interested in completing it most of this season.
Can't get the seduction target to stay still. Checks his watch. No time ad comes off. 35 seconds. I don't know if we can do the flirt at this point. A very bold wrong arm bug coming into conversation next to the ambassador. We've got a drink in hand. Oh no, that was the ambassador's drink. It looked like our drink. So now we've got the bug done.
It is going to be a purloin.
It's going to be just in time for overtime. It was a white test.
Are they looking?
Seen. I don't know if he's looking. The list is not there. But neither is AscendBeyond. And the Headhunter stays alive on the spy side.
I don't know how that worked. I don't know if they just thought they had a good mission count and they didn't credit the bug, or if they just hesitated, or if they just weren't looking at it because it was such a weird time for it and they just didn't feel like Purloin was vulnerable. But the mission tendencies went out in the end. Headhunter, and again, does not complete fingerprint and does go to their mission of choice, Purloin. And even as a white on courtyard as a highlight, it works. I can't believe that worked.
Wow. And what looked like such an awkward bug on the spy side was completely and utterly invisible.
Yeah, you never know. It's really hard. The best spies are better at this than I am, frankly. They have a real good sense of what's visible to the sniper. And sometimes what feel like the worst bugs are actually very, very hard to see, especially depending on the sniper's angle.
It's because of Papa Danger on the other side of the conversation, just completely blocking the arm.
Wow. Well, however it works, however unconventional it may have been, it's the win they needed, and now they can snipe to bring it back to 6-4.
Let's see how this one goes. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I guess Headhunter thought, hey, this whole thing where you have an extra fingerprint you don't use and win the spy game, maybe I'll try that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a good luck charm.
Well, it worked. AscendBeyond opening things off with a flirt at Windows for 25%.
Let me remind you, by the way.
Preparing to briefcase, I think.
Again, that was AscendBeyond's first courtyard loss in 13 games this season, and it happened so unconventionally.
Ambassador steps away. We grab the briefcase exactly as planned. Took a highlight for some reason, but we got the fingerprint.
Well, they've gotten at least one fingerprint in basically every game so far, so why not? And we're just going to chase the Amba around.
That was not bad. It was weird. but it was not bad.
Yeah, it was a little strange looking. The real thing is, though, that they were noticed getting that fingerprint. They were totally noticed getting it.
In conversation with the double agent now, just over 2 minutes to play.
AscendBeyond has to be patient here. If they go to that statue the Amba just went to in the next 20 or
Bug,
30 seconds...
Bug?
It feels like Headhunter's baiting them again. It's the exact same camera movement they had at Red Bookshelves on Veranda. The same little back and forth, trying to look like the camera is swinging from the spy's perspective so that they will try to time it.
And the end of red.
Contact comes off. What's the reaction?
No reaction.
No reaction. That's a bad sign? I think it's a bad sign.
I think it's a bad sign for AscendBeyond, maybe. It tells me that they have a pretty big suspect. And that's the fingerprintable statue we discussed. They waited a little while, but they didn't wait that long.
Gets the fingerprint. Red tests the first inspect, but because there's only 2, we're able to get it done. Now all we need to do is finish the flirts. We have 1 minute and 10 seconds, and we need at least 1 green. This distance is not going to help. Hits the white test, we're at 51%.
And stop talks afterwards, and now, yeah, they're going to need a green, and you got...
Oh, what's the standing bug with the man in between?
Whoa!
It's not enough! The Headhunter gets it back to 4-6, and can you imagine if the Headhunter has that shot too late for sync back?
Oh, it'd be a totally different thing. They'd be right there with them, but still impressive because, first of all, again, partial mission progress left up on the board. It's happening almost every game tonight. And AscendBeyond starts off the season 12-0 on Courtyard, and Headhunter comes in with their back against the wall and wins both. 12 in a row, then 2 losses in a row.
This is some pretty impressive stuff coming out of the Headhunter, especially against AscendBeyond on Courtyard. But man, oh man, this could be a very, very different match as we step into Ballroom. The Headhunter still needs 2 wins in a row to get a point, but it's looking a lot more viable than it was a few moments ago. AscendBeyond on the sniper side, still with 2 match points in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And it's just as bad for Headhunter here. AscendBeyond has played 5 ballroom games and won them all. Not as bad as 12, I guess, but still has not lost a ballroom game. It's dangerous everywhere you go when you're facing someone like AscendBeyond with that record.
The Headhunter opening at center statues, a very bold play.
Yeah, especially knowing that your opponent has been highlighting for statues at least sometimes, at least is doing it on ballroom.
But luckily, Papa Danger has some long inspect cycles.
Yeah, it makes the difference here, and we're not going to bug. Wow, that looked like a very buggable position, but right after the center statue is not going to risk it.
Eyeing up the double agent, it looks like. And indeed, that is where we go. It's not a bad time for it. The contact comes off. 1 low light is all that's gonna take. Contact is done. Not able to catch the seduction target before she steps away, though, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Slowing down a little bit. I'm a bit worried about the seduce situation. We're down to 2 minutes and don't even have our first yet.
Yeah, but we're done with the contact. We're done with the inspects. That suspicion for the early statue might decay.
Purloin, this is a good venue for it. It's such a low sniper angle that it's hard to get a look at that list.
This is going to be a swap. By the way, that was alone in a conversation. Sometimes snipers don't bother to look at the guest list for those. Don't bother to check the rejects. They're not looking at the list at all after it's been taken. I think they're just now seeing it.
List is gone. Green swap on the table.
And they're still reacting to the purloin, I think. There's a really good chance this is going to work.
Oh my god, the Headhunter still hasn't been swapped yet. Here's the take. Here's the
Still trying to look at the
swap.
list. Still trying to look at the list. He's so far behind. He's a whole mission behind. That's not going to work.
Only a one cycle from Duke, steps away. There's the chain statue. There's the mission completion. And the Headhunter is within one game of a 4-game comeback.
Oh my goodness. AscendBeyond coming into tonight had only given up 2 mission wins as sniper. The Headhunter has just doubled that total.
Okay.
Wow.
So, last game of the set. AscendBeyond playing for a win. The Headhunter with all the momentum behind him. And on the sniper side, playing for a draw. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
AscendBeyond coming into this had 4 sniper losses. They've added 3 more tonight. This is the toughest match they've had to face by far all season.
Bit of a weird path coming into Windows. 3 at the same one now, but is able to get the flirt for 51% to start things off.
Boy, those early green flirts just open it up. We see AscendBeyond make such good, interesting decisions with their mission progress and make so much progress across those missions. And one of the reasons is they've been getting the flirt done so early, and then they pay so much attention to fingerprints and where the threat is on the venue that they can time everything so well.
AscendBeyond is so good at flirts now, he's getting the seduction target to chase him around. Unfortunately, close enough that it didn't buy him a whole lot of extra time. White tests on the second to 85%.
They didn't need any help with the flirt, yeah, but they get it anyway. The rich get richer.
Double agent now in conversation as well. Doesn't want to take it, is going for the bookcase. Going for a fingerprint off of this, it looks like.
And fingerprints have been working for them, except for that very last game. They were a suspect because of the early fingerprint. This one, not as early, more likely to work.
The bug on the way through the back!
And a zoom on the list at the time, totally invisible, not even really seen walking away from the AMBA in any kind of suspicious path. That is just a free mission. The fingerprint, they might not be a big suspect for either. Commanding position here from AscendBeyond to hang on to this win that is slowly slipping away.
There's the flirt done as well. I just want to point out at the green bookcase, he one-cycled and put it back. You can't do that.
Yeah, good point. You're probably going to get away with it in Obsidian for the most part, just being aggressive every game, and it hasn't bit them much yet.
We've got the bug done. We've got the flirt done. We've got 1 fingerprint and 1.5 minutes to play. Where do we go from here?
Well, if the other games are any indication, you don't finish fingerprints.
Difficult fingerprint on the briefcase. Can he hit the green? He cannot.
And with a minute left, that's actually really significant. It's hard to imagine they lose that game if they hit that fingerprint. Oh, and are they going to be suspected for a bug after they already took it?
It looks like they might be. The highlights come off.
They already did a bug on a briefcase return earlier on Galley, remember. Headhunter probably remembers that, and boy, it sure looks like they're eyeing Bling Twin now.
There's another briefcase grab. There's the fingerprint done. Keep in mind, double agent is still on the table.
That is so aggressive, though.
Isn't able to get it done off the second fingerprint. The Headhunter brings it all the way back and comes out of things maybe 1/10 of a second away from a win.
Absolutely incredible, but the perfect season, the main thing, the perfect season is over. They were up 6-2. Let's set the stage. Not only were they up 6-2 against the top player in the division who's barely lost at all, but their final 4 games, and they needed to win all of them, their final 4 games were venues their opponent had a combined 17-0 record on, and they won them all. Unbelievable.
This game, man.
This freaking game, man.
I tell you, people are scary.
They absolutely are. Obviously not a loss. Still a draw for AscendBeyond, who's had an exceptional season, but that's it. It's just Legorv. Legorv is the only one who can go perfect still. And, you know, perfect, a relative term with dropouts, as I always say. You know, it's a shame that some of them are forfeits, but it's still hard to do, even when you get a few freebies. So it's Legorv or bust for the perfect season in SCL5.